Welcome back. I'm Alan Taylor. This is the SEMA Show 2015 live pioneering performance stage. I'm Alan Taylor. Jeff Allen from the Car Chasers.
Jeff Allen and none other than Ron Capps.
And Ron Capps, Don Schumacher Racing, Napa Racing. And you have a long history with Pennzoil, don't you?
Yeah, well, my rookie year in Top Fuel, I borrowed money from my dad for my first fire suit. It was all white. My mom sewed 2 patches on it, and the first one was a Pennzoil patch. And They helped me out at the very beginning. Drove Top Fuel for 2 years, and then I got a phone call from my mentor, my hero, Don the Snake Prudhomme. And that phone call is one of those legendary phone calls. You know, he's, hey kid, I'm thinking about putting a funny car team together. How'd you like to drive it? And when you hear Don Prudhomme say something like that, it was cool. So I drove for him for 9 years.
Did you have that moment, though, in that phone call? I was like, is this real? Is this really Don
I actually
Prudhomme?
hung up on him because people, a lot of our friends imitate the Snake. The Snake you've met, he oozes coolness.
Right.
I mean, he's like, hey, man. So I thought it was a buddy playing a joke on me and asking me to drive a car. I mean, Don Prudhomme's not going to call me. Well, I hung up, and he actually called me back. So that was one of those other moments.
That's awesome. I was just on a whim there.
You know, it's funny when you talk about Don the Snake Prudhomme. I saw the movie Snake and Mongoose recently.
Oh, my goodness.
And at the end of the movie, the closing scene is him putting his Pennzoil hat on. And that's just reality. It's part of the history of the brand, right? And the history of racing.
Here's another surreal moment for me. I got to be in the movie, and I got to play.
Really?
I got to play Mongoose's first team owner. So if you go back, there's a blip in there. You'll see, and I'm the one that yells at him for losing on a hole shot.
Oh.
And so getting asked to be in the movie, and then driving for Snake for all those years, hanging out with the Mongoose, and then going on the set of the movie. I took my daughter with me because she loved the guy that played Snake in the movie from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah.
And
Blue eyes.
That's just, so when the movie came out, it was just a great story. If you haven't seen it yet, grab the DVD. Christmas is coming up, but
Snake and Mongoose.
yeah, great
Yep.
movie, great story.
So, I mean, as young guys, as guys that are hands-on, you know, grease monkeys, whatever you want to call us when we're young, we look at these products and we talk to the kind of the guys that have been there before, and then we also test the products and use them ourselves. Is that your life? I mean, did you
Well,
know?
I grew up, my grandfather, I grew up with that Pennzoil Red Bell sign in my grandfather's shop, then my dad's shop. My dad drag raced as a kid. So I grew up around it as a sportsman, but it sort of went hand in hand with just looking back as a kid at racing in general. Pennzoil was always there. So to be associated with them early in my career to help me out was huge. But now, you got to remember, we make 10,000 horsepower, and there's not anything in the world that will test a motor oil and put it through the most unbelievable tests. If it makes it through a nitro engine making 10,000 horsepower, it's amazing what it'll do in somebody's car. So that's a piece of cake. So far so good with everything we're doing with the car.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, this amount of stress that puts on an engine, by
I'm
the
telling
way.
you, I live that kind of stress every day, by the way.
10,000 horsepower worth of stress?
So as far as your everyday life, what kind of a car guy are you? Do you have any hot rods or anything besides the 10,000 horsepower hot rod?
I do. I've got a Roy Brizio built
look at
Model
that.
A 31.5 window, which I
Nice.
started building with my dad, moved away after high school, and it just sat in his yard. I got to be friends with Roy through racing, and he builds Reggie Jackson, Eric
yeah.
Clapton, big money.
Yeah, Brizio's
and I
great.
don't have that kind of money, but he made a deal. We were out drinking one night. He said, hey, send me some money. I'll start working on it. When you run out of money, I'll put it upstairs, and just keep sending money. And next thing I know, I got a phone call. He says, your car's done.
Wow.
So that's one of my favorite cars to drive at home.
Fantastic.
What kind of horsepower is it putting out?
It's got a Whipple-charged ZZ4 crate motor in it, so
Whipple.
it weighs nothing. It's got a lot of power. It's like my funny car. If I choose to get on the gas, which I don't because it's scary when I get on it, but if I want to, it's there.
That's
at the right
awesome.
foot.
It's
You know
nice
that
to have
feeling?
it on tap when you need it.
Yeah.
Is racing still fun to you?
It is. It's
What kind of question is
I'm
that?
just curious.
Are
No,
you
it's-
serious?
no,
He's
it
got one
is-
of the best jobs in the world.
It's a great question because sometimes I need to be slapped a little bit because I forget what I get to do in the morning. I wake
Right.
up in the morning, I put my pants and my uniform on, and I'm going to go to my office, which is 325 mile per hour funny car. That is my job, and it's crazy because sometimes you get so caught up in the competition and everything that's going on that you forget I get to do that for a living, and you get so engrossed, and I hate to lose. So when the weekend's over, sometimes it's too much of a job in your mind, you know, and then you got to step back and say, my gosh, look at what I get
No, I
to
know,
do.
but see, we're
See,
spectators.
here's the thing. His office chair is a lot better than ours, and it's a lot faster.
But you know,
I wish I could just get my work done as fast as you.
Exactly.
Can you imagine that? You come in 3 seconds, I'm done. I'm clocking out.
All right, Ron Capps, thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
I always like that personal side because a lot of times I think in this industry, we forget how lucky we are. And like you said, they would just slap me every now and then, remind me I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Look where I'm sitting right now. Ron Capps, Jeff Allen with Shell and Pennzoil.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Right? We're the luckiest guys.
We are.
I think all of us
It's an
are
honor
the
to have
luckiest
you on
people.
here, man,
Thanks,
on the
man.
live stage.
Good seeing you guys
appreciate
again.
it.
Thank
Ron
you.
Capps,
Continue to do
everybody.
what you
Ron
do, man.
Capps.
We appreciate it.
Jeff Allen.
Thank you,
I'm Alex
guys.
Taylor.
Ron Capps.
We'll be right back.